factor for tonight. I would want you to do something very small, a very small exercise. Please, admin, can you kindly post the pre-assessments on the chat room? The pre-assessments, please, this is important for everyone. We have just 3 minutes to do this. Kindly post the pre-assessment link, and we have just very few questions there. I want you to just answer the questions. Admin, I'm waiting for the pre-assessments. Can we just have that up quickly? This is really important. Wow, someone is joining from Joe. This is awesome. Thank you, everyone. All right, the pre-assessment is on. Just go to the chat room and click on the form there and kindly answer every question. This is the pre-assessments. I'm sure you'd find them fascinating and interesting. We have 3 minutes to do that. If you're just joining, please kindly go to the chat room. There is a pre-assessment form there. Kindly click on it. If you can't see it, probably you joined after it was posted. Let me know so that the admin can repost it quickly. We have 3 minutes for that. Once you're done filling the pre-assessments, you can actually let me know and put done in the chat room. You can put done in the chat room. Once you are done, I assure you it won't take more than 3 minutes. But please ensure you answer every of the questions there. Now, if you're joining and you're married, please kindly do me a favor. Take your gadgets, your phone, your laptop, wherever you're joining, whatever gadgets you're joining with, to your spouse. This is not a session you should be alone. You should be there with your spouse. And I can assure you that that would be one of the best decisions you ever take this year. Once you're done with the pre-assessments, kindly put down in the chat room. Admin, please, I can see some new people joining. Can you just repost it? Because if for people that are just joining, they won't see what has been posted before. Can you kindly just repost the pre-assessments? Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we should always also post the pre-assessment to the WhatsApp group too, for some people that would be joining in later. And I hope that would send the replay. We'll put the replay of this session to the WhatsApp room also. For those that joining straight without registering, would encourage you to register, because there will be lots of opportunities and goodies for those that are on the WhatsApp group. Do I have any done? The pre-assessment form is not a jam. It's not a jam. There are no jam questions there now. I hope it would be done by now. Our time is up. Please, can we just hurry up? Is there any issue accessing the form? Once you're done with it, please kindly put down on the chat room. Thank you, Deborah Disu. You're the first to be done. I hope so many other people will follow suit. Thank you.
I'm not coming downstairs.
When I have like 5 dons, I think we'll just move on. I don't want us to exceed our time. I'm waiting for 5 dons. Once I have 5 dons, would go ahead. Taiwo, thank you. Thank you. For those that are just joining, please kindly fill the assessment form. You can access it in the chat room. Okay, Taiwo Nibi is done also. Thank you. Awesome people were waiting for you. Please, we really need to move fast. Can you just let me know when you're done? Just put done on the chat room once you're through with it. All right, I guess we have. Can you hear me now? Someone is saying,
yes,
okay,
we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And I think we have quite a number of people that are done with their assessment form. All right. I guess I can comfortably bring up the first facilitator for today. Now, the first topic we'll be handling today, we'll be listening to, is understanding humanity. Understanding humanity. And this will be taken by one of the most beautiful creatures that I've met. And admin, please, can I have a brief a bio? Can I have it projected on the screen? Let's meet our facilitator. I want to showcase her before I introduce her. So while admin is doing that, before we waste all the time anyways, our first facilitator for today is no other person but the beautiful, smart, intelligent, don't blush, because these things are just the truth. the one and only Coach Tegam Ayodeji. She's the founder, Nurturers Haven, which is a counseling company committed to seeing girls, women, and families thriving and living according to God's divine purpose. Tega is a family life practitioner, a public servant, and an entrepreneur. She's a lover of God, people, and elegant styling. She's married and blessed with 2 children. Please, can you just give as many hearts as you can with loud ovation, celebration, all those beautiful emojis as I welcome our facilitator for the first session, our beautiful coach, Sega Ayodeji. Thank you very much and you're welcome.
Thank you, Coach Tammy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, everybody. So good to have you here. I hope you're fine and you're doing well and you're pumped and ready for tonight's webinar. We promise to make it very impactful and interesting. So let's dive right into it. I'll quickly share my screen.
Mommy, I thought we're doing the TV.
No, please just calm down.
Please, can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So please, can we kindly mute our mics so that there will be no distraction whatsoever? So I welcome everyone once again to tonight's webinar. My name is Tega Ayodeji, and I'm the first facilitator for tonight. And we all know that the theme for this webinar is your marriage struggling to survive. Firstly, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for making it a date with us, for committing to your growth and the wellness of your marriages or even your relationship. It's a privilege that we do not take for granted. And so we'll kick off, understanding humanity. When many of us hear humanity, what runs or comes to our mind? You can see hands locked up, together, everyone forming a love shape and all. But it goes, far, beyond the picture that we can see. I know that the word humanity is not new to each and every one of us, but it's very, very important that we talk about it since we are really relating with our marriages and our relationship. So what does humanity mean? Now, man simply means humanity or mankind, which is the inherent ability to think and act, create and deliver values that make the world a better place in service to God and humanity. So when we say humanity, we mean the world at large. We're not limiting it to just men alone. It's both the men and the women. So the world in total, humanity, that's what it's all about. Mankind on its own. That's the entire creation, the world, the people in it. So that's what we talk about when we say humanity. And many of us might be wondering, what does this have to do with, our marriages? It has a whole lot to do with our marriages. Now let's go back to the creation story, which many of us are conversant with. And here I wrote that, who is man? Man is an identity. He has a spirit, he has a soul, and lives in the body. This is what makes up, the human being. That's man as a whole. And I said God created man in his image. For many of us who are used to the Holy Book, God created man in his image. Unfortunately, many think God created male. And so we always limit it to man, 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 man. We don't really bring up the other gender, that's the woman. We always limit it to man. So when God created man in his image in Genesis 1 verse 27, he was not limiting it to just, the man, the male as a gender. Man in general is, both the female and the male gender. So this means that whether you are a female or a male expression, you have an identity of a man. So the word humanity is not just for male, it's the world in total. And so while we're talking about it, how does it relate with our marriages? How does it relate with our relationship? Has anyone ever heard of the term, it's a man's world? When you heard this term, how did it make you feel? If you're a man on the call, I'm not saying this to spite you. We regard you, we honor you, but we are saying that it should not be a one-sided thing. We should extend love and grace to the other gender, and this will do a whole lot of good in our relationships. If we see ourselves as one, if we see everyone as important, our marriages will thrive, our relationships will do well. And so in the family systems engineering, we believe that this is like the foundation, the beginning of togetherness, the beginning of love, the beginning of doing things together in order to like have a thriving family or marriage. So we're not limiting it to just the male gender alone. Also, I would like to ask the house, anytime you hear about women empowerment, now this is not just for the men alone. When you hear about women empowerment, how do you feel? Can somebody just, say something? You can unmute your mic and speak. If you are a man, no, not the women now. If you are a man in the house, do we have any man here with us?
Meeting ID 82, 81.
Any man in the house, please?
82 again.
Are we all female here? Please, we have any man, please, can you just unmute and speak? How does women empowerment make you feel? If you don't want to talk or mute, you can always, send a message in the comment section and we'll read. Nobody? Please, let's invite our husbands. We can't do life alone. It's not just for us. It takes two. It takes two. It takes two. Okay, if we don't have any man here, or if any comments, no drop, please just let me know. So when we hear about women empowerment, some people be like, they've come again. This female gender always fighting for themselves. They want to be equal with us. That's the message.
I'm wishing us happy birthday.
That's the message. Please, can we unmute? Can we mute our mics, please? That's the message.
Please mute, please. Becky Olatunji, please mute your mic. Thank you.
That's the message that often comes to our mind, or will I say the thoughts that often comes to our mind when we hear of women empowerment. But the truth is, should the women not be empowered too? Is it limited to the men alone? And I don't know your answer, but for me, the answer is no. So who is superior between a male and a female? You can let me know your answers in the comment section. Is there anyone that is superior? Do we have somebody that is more important amongst all our genders, both the male and the female? What's the difference between a male and a husband? And thank you very much. What's the difference between a male and a husband and a female and a wife? Please, can you let me know in the comment section? When you hear a male and a husband, what do you think makes those words different? Okay, thank you, Rosie. Say none is superior. They are both important. Thank you very much. So when we hear the word female and a wife, and when we hear the word
Dr. Folonshaw, please kindly mute your mic, please.
Okay.
So what comes to our mind when we hear this? That's what I'm asking. Please, can you still see my
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
So what comes to your mind when you hear of male and husband, then female and wife? Can we still see my screen? Can anybody hear me? Somebody's saying I'm frozen.
Yes.
No, we can hear you. Maybe it's the person's network. Your screen.
Yes.
And I hear you.
Okay, so what comes to our mind when we hear the female?
Please go ahead.
Is there any difference? Okay, someone says Cyril says
Video.
I'm back. And the female, the role that she occupies or the office, that's why, and the person or the gender is the female. So who is superior between the sperm and the ovary? Let's make it an interactive class. Who is superior between the sperm and the ovary? Then who is superior between a male child and a female child?
All are the same. They are the
Is are
same
we
now.
still here?
Yes.
None is superior.
None is superior. Thank you very much. So let me quickly paint a picture for everyone. So some years back, I was opportune to attend a wedding. And while, I was at that wedding, what really shocked me, although it's a culture shock, where they invited all the
Dr. Folorunsho, you are actually distracting our class. Please, I don't want to take you out of this meeting. Please. Kindly mute your mic, Dr. Folorunsho, please. Thank you. Coach Tega, you are speaking on mute.
Okay, can we hear me now? So sorry about that.
Perfect.
Okay, so I said at that wedding, yes, it was a traditional wedding. They invited just the male child to come, into the sitting room before they bring in the bride. And they didn't allow any other like sibling that was not a male child to come in. And I actually felt bad because to me, I know that it's a man's world, but what if the woman did not have, any male child of her own? How would she have felt? I know that's why we are really, really stressing or emphasizing the need for each and every one of us to recognize the place that every gender is actually important. Now let's look at this puzzle on the screen. You're to go on a journey to London, and there are two options of pilots to choose from. A recent graduate who has a male graduate who has flown or who flew the airplane twice, those successfully. The number two, a female pilot with 15 years experience who flew the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Who would you choose to fly with?
Yeah, coach.
It's Friday today.
Fifani, what do you want? Fife, I say no more questions.
Who would you choose to fly with out of the two? If you were to go on that flight, who would you choose to fly with?
Please, can you repeat that? We didn't get you.
Okay, I said if you were to go on a journey, embark on a journey, can you still see my screen?
Yes,
No.
you can.
No, we can only see you.
Okay, now I said a recent graduate, that's a male graduate. If you are to choose between two, any of the pilots to like take you on that journey, who would you fly with? Is it the male graduate who just, who flew the airplane twice successfully, or a female pilot with 15 years experience who flew the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Who would you go with on that journey?
The female pilots.
Female pilots. And this is why we are making it, so this is why we are saying that everybody is important. Because if I were to go on that journey, I will not risk my life. I will not risk my life for just anyone. maybe because I was just focusing on gender. Now let's look at the pictures on the screen. These 4 pictures, who do you see looking at the pictures? What bell rings in your mind? What comes to your mind when you see these 4 people on the screen? I know a lot of us are very familiar with these faces. And so when we see them, regardless of gender, you know, and all, what can you really say about each person that you're seeing on your screen? Oprah Winfrey, Nelson Mandela. Are you here with me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, Bill Gates and Mother Teresa. So what comes to mind when you see these people?
Leadership and successful people.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Leadership and successful people. And so we are not looking at them on the agenda, but what they have helped us do, how they have touched lives, you know, and what they've been able to do in the society. And so everybody praises them regardless of their gender. That's how we're supposed to see life. That's how marriages should be. So who is superior in leadership? Integrity, intelligence, creativity, stupidity, scandal. Is it the male gender or the female gender? And this is what humanity is talking about. Let everyone come, you know, together to see that the world is a better place. So God did not put an inferior spirit in any gender. He made us in his image. We're all created in God's image. And so it's advised that everyone develops themselves to become better versions of ourselves. No one should see themselves as small. No man should see any woman as small. No woman should see any man as limited or small. So we can all do great things. You know, we can all do big things. And so we should not allow, you know, the term female, male and female restrict our thinking. You know, so male and female, they are just titles. You know, they are just words used to just separate the 2 genders. So it simply means humanity expressed in the masculine and feminine gender. That's all. That's all. The male and the female are simply humanity expressed in the masculine and female gender. Now let's work together. It's time to look beyond gender, working hand in hand to make your spouse feel special. Each person, either husband or wife, has been given several roles to perform in order to raise a thriving home. So what are we saying in the family systems engineering? And even as a community tonight, what are we saying? That everyone should begin to see, everyone should begin to see each other as important. You know, we are not less of one another. Everyone has, you know, positions to fill. Everyone has maybe goals to achieve, and we are all important. That's what we are trying to tell ourselves tonight. If we see ourselves as important, there will be less fight. You know, the ego, the arguments, and all of that will be on a very, very low scale. You know, and I feel we are trying to like express our mind to you that this is the foundation of everything, loving each other irrespective of gender, even in our homes. And so the role of the husband, who is the husband now? The husband is a gardener equipped with the power to transform a bush into a garden and a garden into an oasis by developing his giving and managerial ability in nurturing every raw material into finished products in a way that heaven becomes visible on the earth. And here I wrote that he's also a servant leader. A man in the home will serve. Even if you desire respect and you know you're commanding of it and all, you will still serve. Being a man of the home is not just about title. You know, he's also the servant leader, one who is equipped with the nation building mandate to model and mentor others in ensuring the right values become visible in the family. And so the role of the wife, who is a wife? She's the kind of help that only God could have provided in ensuring God's dominion mandate is achieved. A type of the helper position around a husband to ensure he does not lose his way. And we're trying to say that we need each other. We can't do life alone. A man, you know, that has gotten married to his wife, you know, had as in thought about it before he made that decision. If not, he would have just left himself to be. But he decided to come, you know, together with his wife to become one. And so we see that everybody's place is important in the home. not just the male, even the female too. So the female is, the wife is a recipient of the male seed and a nurturer of the same seed into maturity. Now, this is one part I love the most. How many of us are used to this, will I call it adage, or proverb in Yoruba? I will interpret it. I'm not Yoruba, but I'm married to Yoruba man. So if I say something otherwise, please, just pinch me and let me know. Coach Sumbi Titi, please let me know if I'm already going ahead of myself. So now this very common quote says Ile oko, Ile eko ni. And I know that we are used to, we say it a lot, we own it, we have embraced it, we have taken it in. But should I shock you all that if we really want to think about it, anybody, both the male and the female decided to come together to be one. A man cannot be husband without a wife, and a woman cannot be wife without the husband. So they came together to be one. So why can't it be Ilewa, Ile Okoni? You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Hand in hand, we do life together. Because if we're not married too, we are both learning the lessons together. It's not just one person that is learning it. And so this is where understanding humanity comes in. How do you see your wife? How do you see your husband? Are you saying that because you are the head of the home, you have all the power and all the right to just do anything that you want to do? That's what we are trying to say, understanding humanity. So in conclusion now, what are the benefits of understanding humanity? It helps us respect everyone we see, irrespective of gender. We are able to appreciate the diversity in us and able to add value to one another, and on and on. We're able to see ourselves as teammates, friends, and lovers against master-slave relationship. So let's pause and reflect. Remember when you were much younger, when you did not know the difference between boy and girl, how we played around, acted play, I know many of us understand. Go back and remember how you played with everyone as a child, and now compare the happiness you felt then with the one you feel right now, that you feel that one is superior to another. So our minds have been clouded, and this has to do with so many things that we have been through. So in conclusion, understanding humanity reminds us that everyone is important in the human race: man, woman, husband, and wife. Everyone has been well equipped to function in their role and office. No one is less of the other, and we need each other to survive. Thank you very much. So my question for you tonight, as I wrap up, how will you handle the opposite sex in your life from today? And what would you start doing differently from today to see that we have a better world? Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. Please, can you just give Kotiga a round of applause? Our wife, our Yoruba wife. You are doing well. Thank you. I love our participants. They're already, giving all the accolades. Thank you, Jisoo. Thank you for, telling us that is an amazing presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Please, can we keep the applause coming? Can we just keep it going, rather? Can we keep it going? Thank you. Thank you. As in so many light bulbs moments, so many aha moments. I don't know about you, but it was just back to back, as in light bulb illumination. Thank you. Thank you. Please, quickly, can you just tell us what resonated with you most? What was that one thing? Of course, I know there are several things, but what was that one thing? I just want you to mention one that struck a chord in you, or one thing that will view that changed, or that aha moment for you that you were like, wow, this is the word for the moment. Can you just quickly do it? Oh yes, that was it for me, Ready KJ. Sincerely, that blew me too. As in, you know how we embrace some things, As in, I've heard that thing over and over again, and I just felt okay. But really, it is ile ekoni, because it's not just the women that are learning or gaining something in marriage. It's both the husband and the wife, including the children also. The children learn. So it is ile ekoni. That was my aha moment also. Is our coach not amazing? All right, any other person? Thank you for that. Okay. That email, that one, it's also it for Ajibanke. Okay, thank you. That was an amazing one. Which other one? Yes, we are all involved in the building of our home. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Is there any other aha moment for any one of us? Any other person? Do we now have a men? Can you see why our husbands should be in this session? So if you're still not with your spouse, please kindly go to where they are so that we can enjoy the sessions together. No gender is superior to another. That is another aha moment. Yeah, no gender is above the other. Thank you. Keep it coming. You rub my hands and I rub yours. Thank you, Adefunke Watson. Thank you. It was, I'm sure we'd all agree that it was such an amazing and impactful session. Okay, so let's now move on. And you guess what? It gets better. It get better. It gets better. Okay, a woman isn't a wife without a man, and vice versa. Yes, so many aha moments, and I'm sure that we are relearning and learning
now, white, that's okay, right?
as that.
Okay, Monday.
Hey, please, my people are begging. Let's mute. So, Aderonke, please. Erioluwa, please, can you mute your mic, please? That is really very important so that we won't be distracted.
We can't hear you, ma'am.
All right, so I think sorry, I was initially muted. Okay, so we'll move into the second session, and here we will be talking about culture and redefinition. We all know how important culture is, how much we're embedded into culture, how much of influence our relationship, how much of influence culture has on our relationship. So let's talk about culture and redefinition. And to be doing this is another amazing coach, my dearest Adu Maradon. I'm sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. That is my black and shine coach. She is Coach Feyishayo Oluwafemi. She's the purpose-driven, highly efficient, target-oriented individual, and she enriched to assist. She's enriched to assist individuals and organizations discover and achieve their purpose and goals. She's the founder of the Marriage Grace Academy, an academy of relationships, marriage, parenting, and everything related to the family life and all that exists in between it. She has written 4 books on relationship and marriage and still counting. Ladies and gentlemen, please can you just give a round of applause for our wonderful coach, Feyishayo Oluwafemi.
Hello, everyone, and good evening to you all.
Good evening, ma.
All right. Thank you for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure. And I believe we've had great experience in the first session of tonight. You haven't seen nothing yet because you are in for a bigger change. It's going to shock you, and we are sure that you're going to have a great impact from these 2 days free webinar. Tonight, I'll be taking you on a very interesting topic tagged culture and redefinition. I would like to share my screen, and as soon as you can see my screen, please confirm. But while I wait to share my screen, I'd like someone to just tell me what you understand by culture. What do you think culture is? You can drop in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself to speak. What is culture?
Culture is a way of life that guides the way some particular people live their life or how they roll.
I like that. How they roll. The way some particular set of people live their lives. All right. And tonight, you're going to get a shock of the definition of the family systems engineering of what culture is. And that is to say, but before I define what the culture is from the family life, family systems engineering concepts, I'd like you to take a look at this picture, and I believe you can see my screen. Confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
All right, so while you see this picture, what comes to mind?
A happy home.
Happy home. Okay, any other trial? Someone said it's a way of life. Any other trial? Remember, we're talking about culture.
An intentional man with his wife helping out in the kitchen to, to make dishes, and they are all happy, smiling.
I'm clapping for you. I'm clapping for you. An intentional husband helping out. Yes, I see this partnership. Wow, interesting. So it's not like the woman alone must be in the kitchen doing all the cooking, right? I like the word intentional. I like the word partnership. Good. Any other one? Any other one? One more, then we'll move. All right.
Answers
A
in the
happy
comment
home. A happy home
Okay.
where there is no delegation of duties. Everybody works together to achieve a
Oh,
target.
wow. Happy home, everyone working together to achieve targets. Culture refers to the collection of social behaviors. All right, thank you, everyone. I wasn't seeing the chat before now, but I can see teamwork. Yes, beautiful. But someone said it is not an African culture. Kosha, I love it. I like this. You love it. I love it too. It is, and this is why we're talking about culture tonight, because please, everyone, I beg you, please, let's go muted, please, please, so that we can all enjoy this class. Yes. And happy home, an intentional father. Teamwork, where everybody is doing what is needed to achieve a common goal. This is highly interesting. You can see that the father has 2 children behind him, backing the children. The wife is also assisting while the daddy is also doing what? Cooking. Is different from what we were taught, that is just the woman that will end up in kitchen. I'll give a little example about myself. From my own maternal side, women do not go to school. Why? It's not like it's a curse, but it is because they believe that after all, she's going to end up in a man's kitchen. So why should we waste our money sending her to school? So let's invest all the money to send the male home, to school, and just do the little we can do for the woman. And this is how it is that most women from my maternal side do not go to school. But when I came, it changed, because I must be schooled. And this is why you are seeing me here tonight, because I had to break that protocol. And this is why you are in for a change, like I said earlier on. This is why you must know that there are some cultures that need to be broken. So, because it might have worked for some people in their own time, but maybe in our own reality now, it's not going to work. And so you must not begin to say, after all, from my family line, we don't do this, we don't do that. No, you must begin to have a change. Isn't it good that the whole family is working together in the kitchen just to achieve a common goal? And this is why we're talking about culture tonight. All right, so we'll continue. And the objective of tonight's teaching on culture is to assist couples. And if you are not yet married, it's also to assist you to be able to do what? To create a culture that will promote your well-being. It's not a culture that underneath you are complaining, but you cannot say you don't like it. I give another culture from the Yoruba tribe, because I'm a Yoruba person, married also to a Yoruba man. It is usually said that when there is function in the husband's family, the wife will go and be fetching water because they want to have function. Just be cooking and cooking, spend the whole time in the kitchen and do all of that. That's a culture that might have worked for the women of those days because most of them do not have a career to pursue. So is it still functional in our days? Why can we not say, let's employ maybe caterers or some people to help us so that we can, our wives can be beautiful, also happy, gorgeous in the party, if for instance they must be there, rather than say, well, in our culture, that's what it is. Now, I define what culture is for you from the family systems engineering concept. And it says culture is defined as the way of life of a people at every point and time, meaning that the way of us living as a people and how we do things at this particular time is because it's working for us. At a particular time, it might no longer work for us. We imbibe this way of doing things or reacting to things or responding to things because we know that it's working for us. If it's no longer going to work for us, then we might change it. So the culture should be working for us and not we working for the culture. So just like if you are conversant with the Holy Scripture also that says that the law should be working for us and not we living by the law. So this simply means that the culture of the past may be good for the past people based on their reality, but may not be empowering for us and for the future that we are going into. So this is why we need to begin to dive into the culture that we have in around us. Whether you are from outside of Nigeria, or you are from Nigeria from one side that they believe that when you are married as a wife to the family, you are like a property. And so if after your husband have had sex with you, any of the brothers of your husband can also have sex with you. After all, you are their wives. That's also a culture that have worked for them at a particular time. How is it that you don't want to break away from those cultures that is no longer working for the kind of future that we want to live? And this is why we are in here tonight for a bigger change. I hope we are still following. And you can see my screen and you can hear me loud and clear. Confirm if you can see me.
Yes, we can.
All right. Now, I'd like somebody to cruise with me tonight. And maybe I pick somebody or you want to volunteer. As we look at this statement, what comes to mind? The greatest problem of culture is seeking to hold on to it, even when your experience and your current reality is consistently showing that it has outlived its usefulness, just like the scenarios that are painted about a wife being the wives of the whole member of the family, or a scenario where the wife will have to end up in the kitchen just cooking for all the members of the family or for the parties because she's a wife. All right. So somebody wants to help me tonight. Number one statement is this. There was a time in history that women couldn't vote or own organizations, but that has simply changed. What do you think about this? Some women are founders of great organizations as we speak. But in the time past, that can never be because it's a man's world. What do you have to say to this? Is it a good one or is it a bad one? Yes, you can engage the chat box. I can see, yes. Yes. Is anybody saying anything? Or you can unmute yourself to also speak. I need us to engage this session so that we can enjoy it. Now, while you are thinking about it, let me take the second. Definitely is a good one. Good. Thank you, Fisayo. The next is, if we don't troubleshoot our culture, if you do not troubleshoot our cultural definitions against our best interest, it will hold us back. Meaning that if you don't take time to begin to break through some cultures or some limiting beliefs in your family line, then you will be limited. Your destiny fulfillment will be will be tied down. I'll give another illustration. At a time when I had my first child, I remember a neighbor of my mother-in-law who had left a husband's house to this current husband's house, heard my baby crying as we were bathing the baby. And the woman said, oh, this baby can cry. But it's even good that the mother is even privileged to use hot water to take her bath and to mop her body after delivery. That the husband's house that she left after delivery, in the culture and the family line of that husband, what they do is that they will not allow you to use hot water to wash your body or to even dap your body so that you can heal up quickly. And that she almost died. And in my heart, I was like, what rubbish is that? Because you're a wife, you give birth to children, and then you can't live your normal life again. Now, this is what we're saying. How is it that you've heard of the case that when you have a newborn baby, you have to bath your baby with the dirty water that you have just used to bath the older baby, so that this new baby will not be falling sick? That's another culture. You need to begin to break away from these cultures because they will hinder you from fulfilling the ultimate life you want to live. The next one is a good culture must never restrict the potential of any human being. If it is good in itself, then it's not going to restrict your potential, your becoming, your extra, because there's the extra that makes everybody. Your extra is what God has inputted into your life for you to be who you should be, uniquely unique on your own. Now, the last statement is this: this culture must promote the best interest of everybody, not because you're a lady or because you're a man. It must promote the best interest of everybody because we are all humans. And to be a female gender is not a deficiency. It's not a sickness. We are all made in the image of God. And the fact that you're not a female gender does not make you lesser than a human being. And so any culture that makes you feel lesser than that is not the good one you must embrace. So this kind of culture that will help you to live a fulfilling life is the one that will promote your own best interest and the best interest of everyone around you, such that it will create the right environment where your potentials can all find expressions. If you are still following, say, yes, I hear you. I hope I'm not alone.
Yes, yes, I hear you.
No,
Thank
not
you,
yet.
thank
Not
you, thank you,
alone.
thank
Yes,
you.
I hear you.
No, you are not
Yes, I hear you.
Thank you. All right, so I want to do a puzzle. I need a volunteer. Now, look at this puzzle. If there is a gold mine in your wife, and I need a man to help us with this. If there is a gold mine in your wife that can only be realized if she does not have to cook and take care of the children, will you, as the husband, take responsibility for those chores? I need a man to help us with this puzzle. This is a very interesting one, yes? Yes, a man, volunteer, please unmute yourself and speak. There's a gold mine in your wife, but the only way it can be spun to flame is when maybe she's not cooking or taking care of the child because of the enormosity of all that she has to do and all that. Yes, would you be ready to take care of the house chores?
Bring water for me, John.
Sir, are you answering us or you are
Okay,
distracting us?
can I quickly say something? Sorry.
Yes, please say.
All right, good. Definitely, I realize that there's a good mind in my wife. I know that she's trying her best to, help the family as well, and doing her best to put so many things in place in the house. And if sometimes she gets home tired, weird out, and she needs to fix some things at home, and I know I'm in the best place to help her, definitely I will always help her now, because I know that she's trying her best, and I know that she's pushing to be the best as well, the best, a very good wife.
Let's give a round of applause to this man. I can't even see your name. I'm sorry. Let's give a round of applause to him.
Mr.
I mean, for him. Yes, he's a very good man, right? So many African men will say, wait, you must cook. You're not concerned whether you tire or you not tire. Any I be, now your duty. You see it. But we, just like the first speaker said, that we are in this to learn together. And we all must begin to do things in the common interest of the family. Yes, she knows it's her duty to cook, but maybe she's worn out, she's tired, or there's a course or a career path she has chosen that will make her not to really be able to do all of that. Because we are working together, the man must be able to also do what? To fill in that space so that the family can move. And I tell you, the gimmick is, if a man does not cook in the presence of his boy child, the boy child will also grow up not learning to cook. The boy child will feel that it is normal for only girls to cook. And this is how a pattern then repeats itself generation after generation. All right. So you have heard some men say, I have never seen my father go to market to go and buy food stuff for his wife. So I can never do that for your wife too. I've heard men say that I can assist her to cook in the kitchen, but to go to market, and you see some people say, I cannot even do anyone. She must do the whole thing. And you're like, what happened? So this is what we're talking about tonight. And I hope you are really getting something. Now, we want to do something. I need a volunteer. Now that a man has spoken, I need a woman to just help us out. You'll be our, you'll be the pilot tonight. Yes, are you there? One person volunteer, move yourself and say, yes, I am. I'm ready. Yes, I need us to go through this cultural belief test together. Are you there? Anyone?
Okay, yes, I'm ready.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, I want you to pick one cultural belief around you that you have heard of or that you know about. So we want to test that cultural belief against these following questions. Are you ready? Number one, why was this? Tell us that culture, that cultural belief that you have heard of. You want to mention it first of all. Let's hear it from you. Let's hear that cultural belief you want to talk about. Just one.
Okay, is the wife should be the one to do everything that concerns the home.
All right. The wife should be the one that will do everything that concerns the home. That's like house chores, generally. Now, can we now take that particular cultural belief and dissect it one by one? Number one, why do you think this culture was created? He needs an answer. Why do you think it was created? You just want to think for those people who created the culture. You really do not know, or maybe you just believe maybe it's because of that. Why do you think it was created? Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
You said what?
I don't even know why it was created, but because we came to meet it. So I don't even know what.
And so it's been passed from one generation to another.
Yeah,
you see, we don't even know the why. And like Miles Moron said, that if you do not know the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable. So if we don't even know the why should I continue what I don't even know the concept for which it was created? Thank you, sir. Please tell us.
I guess it was like that was in the olden days.
Yeah.
Those days, women don't really do much in terms of adults. Most of the women get out.
Okay.
I think most of them they engage in farming and they be on the farm for a very long time. And before they have to get home, they'll be so tired. And because of that, only the women will be available to take care of the home, to cook for the man before the man come back. Because those time, most of the men don't go to school. They believe there's only women or men that go to school. So most of the men are not educated. So because of
Thank
that,
you. Let's keep it short. I've gotten my point. So since you are giving us the why, let's continue the assessment with you. KG, please don't be angry. Let's continue the assessment with you. You know the why. The why is because most women are not educated. They don't have any career to pursue. But you will agree with me that has changed in the recent times. Now, number two,
yes,
what was the state of mind? What do you think was the state of mind of the creators of the culture when they created that culture? What do you think they were thinking?
They were thinking that women are supposed to go to school. They're supposed to just be at home and take care of their children and their husband.
Since there's no work that they have to do, right? Thank you very much.
Of course.
Number three, what was the level of exposure of the creators of the culture? How exposed were they?
They were not exposed. Most of them were illiterate.
And in fact, most of them who had made this culture were men. And most of them who had made this culture to never were schooled. They were not learned. Now, the next question. What exactly was the motive of the culture they created? What was their motive? Their intent? What was it?
I guess their motive is to balance the equation, to find the man on the farm, and they are working hard to see that everything the wife needed to be provided for is being provided for. Then the women,
Thank
that's the
you.
only way the women can support.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. The last one. Does this culture, this particular culture now, does it promote the best interest of everyone and the full manifestation of potentials? Now, in
No.
our current reality, that's the question. In our current reality, this particular culture, does it?
No.
Thank you. So
No,
if
no.
it does not, let's now throw it back to ourselves. Do you think we should continue that same culture that is not fitting into our current reality?
Never.
Thank
Of course,
you.
continue.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for both of you. A round of applause, a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is why we need to think deep. And for if you are single here and you want to get married, one thing you should do is to take time to understand the culture of where you are born into. Many of us don't even know. Talk more of the culture of the person you want to marry. So you need to understand the culture and begin to break down the ones you need to break. The ones you can continue, you know those ones. The ones you will not be able to continue, you know. And then you begin to bet a new nation, because when the two of you come together, you are a new nation. Aha. Now let's continue. And I hope you are enjoying yourself and getting values tonight. We want to dissect some disempowering culture that we have met. We'll talk about male and female, husband and wife, and then marriage. This empowering culture we have met about male is that the male is the superior gender, created to rule everyone else, irrespective of whether he's intelligent or he has ability or he does not have. Do you think that should be the norm? But the empowering culture that is needed is that a man is a visible image and character of the invisible God, expressed in the masculine body for the purpose of health management, rulership, and dominion. Because man in this context, the man and the woman are made in the image of God. But male, which is the man, the male gender now, is the man that has the visible image and character of God. God is not domineering, all right? So why should we, because we say we are male, or we are male, then begin to be domineering over our wives and not allow them to also fan their giftedness to flame? That's selfishness. And God whom we serve is not selfish. Female, on the other hand, one disempowering cultural definition of female is that she's the weaker vessel. Yoruba will even say, Obìnrin abẹyìntọ̀. And I wonder what that is. The fact that she's abẹyìntọ̀. And for those who do not understand that, it means that the woman pee from behind, something like that. And that the man will stand erect and pee from just forward. Does it make any difference? It's not simple biology. And that makes them feel that she's a weaker vessel. They feel that she's a weaker vessel that doesn't have potential, but that her only best potential can be expressed in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and through motherhood. That's all they know about female. And this is why, if you are a female here, you want to begin to harness your purpose fulfillment and stop being defined by what culture have defined you, and stop believing that you are only good for the bed. You're only a baby making machine, or you're only good in the kitchen. You have a destiny to fulfill. And for you and for us in the family systems engineering, what would define female is that a female is a visible image and character of the invisible God. Look at it, it's similar definition. The only difference is that she's expressing that invisible God and that visible image and character of the invisible God in the feminine body. Also, for the purpose of earth management, rulership, and dominion. So both the man and the woman are to manage the head. They are to rule the head. They are to dominate. And if you are a believer and you read the scripture also gave that mandate to man. It should be, the scripture said that he blessed them after he made them. And he said they should be fruitful, right? They should dominate. They should rule over all he has created. So that instruction was not just given to the male, but it was given to humanity, male and female. Now, how about husband? They have defined husband to us as the breadwinner, the ATM machine. His own role is just to provide for the family and command obedience. Anyhow it is, whatever he says, whether it makes sense, it don't make sense, shall obey him. That's what they've defined it for us. They said he's the king that must be worshipped so that he will not get angry. So whether what he's saying is correct or is not correct, let's say yes, sir. That's what they said. But the empowering culture you want to know about who a husband is that a husband is an husbandman, which means that he is a gardener. And as a gardener that he is equipped with the power to transform a bush into a garden. So if a man marries a non-entity as a wife, he has the power to transform that non-entity to somebody and makes sense out of the nonsense of the life of the wife that he had married. All right. So you have the responsibility to harness all the raw virtues in the life of your wife to flame and make her who she's supposed to be. Her life should get better than how the life was even before she got married to you. And lastly, the wife, this empowering culture has defined the wife as the homemaker, the bed woman, the baby production factory, and all of that. But ideally, a wife is a tender, not commanding spirit of truth. And if you're a believer, you know that the Holy Spirit is the spirit of truth that gives counsel. So the work of the woman in the life of the man is synonymous to the work of the Paracletos, which is called the Holy Spirit, that helps and gives support every time is needed. She gives the kind of help that only God can provide. Now, lastly, marriage. This empowering culture have defined marriage to us as the process of a man and a woman coming together to start a family where the man takes the lead and the woman follows. In a way, you might want to say it is true, but holistically, some men do not even have what it takes to lead the home. But empowering culture will be that the coming together of the man and the woman from two different nations to create a new nation that will promote the best interests of all and whose culture will give our world rest. We are in a state of disarray almost everywhere in the nation. Why? Because we are looking for one leader to lead us, and we have not gotten one because leaders have not been raised from the home. And this is because men are not also, they are not also filling into their space of being the leader, bringing out the best, nurturing the lives and the destinies of children that God has given to them. Now, as I try to conclude, you need to know these things. Cultural troubleshooting, women are homemakers. We have dissected it to say it is not just so. They are, but that's not all that defines them. The way into a man's heart is through his belly. So every woman must learn how to cook. What is bad in a man learning to cook? So the day the woman is sick, doesn't mean the whole family will go hungry and they will not eat. And the children will also die of hunger. Or they will just go and be eating junks because the father cannot cook. Cooking is a life skill that both the male and the female must learn. And if you have male and female children, one of the things you want to teach every one of them is to learn to cook. It's a life skill. Women must submit, and any woman that doesn't submit may not enjoy a blissful marriage. Yes, she must submit to a man that has a head over him. But if he does not also have a head, that submission will be very, very awkward. Now, if a man, because sometimes the woman might even know more than the man. And this is why, as a man, you must ensure that your leadership skill is top-notch and that whatever you are even given as instruction is correct, not just because you are the head. That's why we are obeying you. All right. So this is a very big task for you. I understand. I need to run. It is okay for a man to commit adultery and be forgiven, but a woman who does the same doesn't deserve mercy. Abba now. This is not fine. One makes a woman less than a man. So if a woman goes to commit adultery, she's wayward. Then what if the man goes to commit adultery? He is not wayward. That's not balance. And that's a disempowering culture that we have been given. It is our brothers or sons' house. So, and we can do whatever we like as extended family. After all, a woman is a property. You don't, for short of time, I would have given you a lot of experiences that happened as a result of this. The husband's family will just come to the family of the brother. After all, it's our brother's house, and they begin to do anyhow, as if the woman is immaterial. Lastly, I'd like you to take this review and question this about yourself and the cultural beliefs that you are holding on. Number one, what cultural beliefs are you going to change going forward? In fact, if you don't even know the cultures of where you have come from, you want to begin to do an analysis and begin to ask questions from your parents. What do we believe as somebody who have come from this part of the world and all of that, so that you can begin to know the ones you want to change. Number two, what belief will you now embrace and promote? So that you know the ones you drop and the ones you will promote. Now, when you do this, can you now visualize the results that can happen if you embrace a new culture that promotes the best interests of everyone in the family. The truth is, it is time for you to look through the culture that have been handed over to you from ancestors that are no longer living and decide to tweak it to serve you and not otherwise. Your culture should serve you. You are not to serve your culture. Thank you for having me. Yes, over to you, our moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you very much, Coach Dan. Thank you. That was such an awesome session. Wow. It was the last statement for me. It was the last statement for me. Yes, as our culture is to serve us, we're not to serve our culture. Thank you. That was such an amazing session. Please, can we just give our super coach Feyi a round of applause? A round of applause. Please, thumbs up, round of applause. So much hearts. Can you keep it rolling? Can we have it for Coach Feyi? Thank you. It was really an amazing session. Can we have our aha moments, light bulbs moments? Can we have it? What stood out for you? What was that point you felt, wow, this is it? Can we have a comment? What stood out for you? What are you ready to embrace? Which of the points stood out for you? Cooking is a skill for everyone. Thank you. That was your own aha moments, light bulb moments. Can we keep it coming? Our culture should serve us, not we serving our culture. Thank you. Please, can Coach talk a bit more about now? Would note that I'll note that question. We're taking questions at the end of all the sessions. Women are not suboptimal to the men. Thank you. The new definition of, I was hoping someone would mention that. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. I got to know the meaning of the saying Obìnrin. What's this? Oh my goodness, my Yoruba is
Abẹ́yìntọ̀.
Abẹ́yìntọ̀, yes, Obìnrin Abẹ́yìntọ̀. We all got to know the meaning of that, so I couldn't even pronounce it again. All right, thank you. That was such a wonderful moment that I'm sure we've learned, we've relearned, and we're doing well. Sincerely, we are doing well. We're getting better. Yes, we also learned the culture we should do away with. And yes, we are gradually moving to the end of our webinar, and we have a third and the final session for today. And like I said, I told you after Coach Tiga that it's getting better, and now we are getting to the best of the parts, because like it would always get better. Now our next moderator and is our darling, beautiful Coach Gbemisola. I don't have let me check. Please just give me a second. I don't have let me see if it's been posted. I was requesting for a profile initially. I still don't have it, but I guess she will just do a brief introduction of herself. But she's an amazing, wonderful coach, and she's ready to give it to us back to back. Yes, our session tonight is understanding your engineering. Understanding your engineering. We are all wired in a certain way. We are all engineered in a certain way. So how do you decode your engineering? Without any further ado, please can we all please give a clapping ovation as we welcome our darling coach, Miss Sola. Keep it coming. Can we have a clap? Keep it coming. Over to you, Coach Sola.
Thank you so much, Coach Temi. I would love that you read the profile yourself, please. It's already in the book.
Okay. Yeah. Do we have it now? Can you please just is it on the group now? So
yeah, it's on the group.
Okay, yes. Let me thank you for giving me the honor. All right. So tonight we have our one and only Coach Gbemisola Babalola. She is the founder of Divine Bridge Academy, a company established to serve as a terrain for transformation to bring families from where they are to where they ought to be. Gbemisola is a minister of the gospel, a family life practitioner, a lecturer, an entrepreneur, and she's married and blessed with children. One woman army, as in women, who says we can't do it all? Who says we can't have it all? Please, can you just celebrate and appreciate those Gbemisola for me?
Thank you so much, Coach Temi. Thank you. All right, so I will just go straight to what I have tonight. I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see it. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, your screen is on.
Sorry, excuse me. All right, so tonight I will be talking about understanding your humanity. Understanding your humanity. And the goal of this is for us to understand that there is a way we have been wired, and because of the way we're wired, we behave in a particular way. And so tonight we are going to be looking at this quote. The success of every marriage is often dependent on the quality of players. So because of the way we have been raised up, two people coming together to form a nation, another nation. Now, the quality of the players involved will determine the output of that marriage. So before we can have a successful marriage, the players must have been made up of good qualities. And those are the things we are going to be looking at tonight. Then the second one says, what has been done to you is not your fault, but what you do from here is your responsibility. Yes, the way you have been wired is as a result of your environment, your upbringing, the parenting platform that you were brought up, and of course, the emotional experience that you garnered over the years. So these are responsible for the way you act right now. But then going forward, what you do is now your responsibility. So you can't blame the past, right? Yes, you are structured in a particular way, but going forward is now your responsibility. Then Rumi says this, he said, maybe you are searching among the branches for what only appears in the roots. So, sometimes we try to merge things up. We try to solve the problem halfway, right? Instead of dealing with it from the roots. And that's what we are doing tonight. That's the essence of this webinar, so that we go back to the roots to see what is wrong, and then we make the necessary changes to have the desired result or home or family that we want. Then the next one says your mind is...
Coach Bemi.
Yes.
Sorry for cutting you short. Please, can you check your message in the group? I think there is a mix-up. Sorry, continue.
Tell you that. Okay, so that is number.
Have you seen it now?
Yeah, I've seen it. Thank you. All right. Okay, so your mind is just a computer running a conditioned script. So the way we have been wired, determines what we do, the way we act. And that's why tonight we are looking at understanding your engineering. Pardon me, it's meant to be engineering. Now, education is not the learning of facts, but it's rather the training of the mind. It's rather the training of the mind. So what we are doing tonight is to learn, is to train our mind in such a way that it is conditioned to produce the necessary output. Recall that the way we act, the way we behave right now is as a result of what has been imputed into us. Now, you can look at a family as a building. You can look at a family as a building, and the material that was used to, to construct the building is your upbringing, your parenting, your emotional experience, and of course the way your parents handled you. Now, these materials, at the end of the day, when a building is constructed, you only get to know how strong that building is when the result of that building is being brought together. And of course, after a while, maybe like 2 or 3 years later, you begin to see cracks in the building. And that tells you that the quality of the material that was used was not good enough. And that's why we need to get back to the roots to really understand what the problem is. Now, if we look at our world today, we will say that the problem of this world is an adult and the solution is a child. The problem of this world is an adult and the solution is a child. Meaning, if you want to change everything that is wrong right now, we go back to childhood, we go back to doing child. And then I believe a couple of years now, maybe when we were young, children, we grew up together. All a child wants to do is play. The child does not know that I'm not supposed to relate with someone of different religious background. A child does not know whether someone is a Muslim or a Christian. He doesn't know whether they are white or black or the class. Every one of them just want to play. And the only time a child begins to understand that this is my limit is when an adult points it out to the child and tells the child, oh, you can't play with so and so people. You can't do this, you can't do that. And then you begin to shape that child, to become the adult it will be today. That there are people that you can't marry from a particular tribe. You can't marry from a particular state. Or there are some beliefs. My sister already talked about cultures and belief. There are some places that they believe that a person coming from a particular state is either they are very notorious, they are very promiscuous, or they are stubborn. All of these are pointed out by an adult. But all a child wants to do is just to play. And so the question I want to ask us tonight is, when was the last time you were truly happy as a child? When was the last time you were truly happy? If you had the opportunity to go back the years, like go back to when you were 4, when you were 7, when you were 10, when you were 12, when you were 16, what would you do differently? So when was the last time you were truly happy? And how were you conditioned to be happy? Maybe you are someone that believes that, yes, my value, I'll still get to that. I don't want to go ahead of myself. It's fun, it's to play. But the way you have been brought up, I remember when we were much more younger, we don't go out, we stay indoor. And once my parents, when they leave, especially my dad, everybody goes out and we start playing. And by the time we hear him come back, everybody, runs inside the house. In fact, there was a time my elder brother had to jump, just so that my father will not see him, so that we won't be punished. You see, so we were being conditioned to act in a way, but the little child in us wants to explore. And that's the reason why we need to understand the way we are wired and what to do about it. All right, so the essence of this class tonight is to understand your engineering paradigms, the perception, and you re-engineering. How do we re-engineer what has been programmed into us? Now, the second slide says nothing means anything except the meaning you have attached to it. Nothing means anything except the meaning you have attached to it. So in our day-to-day life, in our interaction, even with our spouse and even with people, we only get to hurt ourselves by what they say or what they do because of the meaning we have attached to it. Now, take for example, if someone does like this to you, in Yoruba land, you feel the person is abusing you. But in another place, it could be, take for example, a priest. If a priest is doing like this, it's like he's ready to close the service. So one thing in a place means another thing in another place. So what if you change the meaning of things? Would your reaction be better than what it is before? Now, take for example, for families, for husband and wife, that maybe the wife is complaining that the husband is always nagging, always calling her names. Let's take for example the word useless. Maybe the husband is telling the wife, "You are useless," and then each time the wife hears this, it triggers something in her. She feels bad. It brings down her esteem. Makes her to feel low about herself. And then the question will be, what if you change the meaning? What if what that man is actually saying is that I'm not maximizing your potential? What if you swap it and change it to, you have useless? What if you swap it and it becomes less use? So if the husband is saying you are useless, and your meaning of that is only telling me that it doesn't have the capacity to utilize my person, I believe if we change that meaning, it will definitely bring us to another state, another realm, and not where we ought to be, and not the pain. And I also want us to understand that your belief drives your behavior, and your behavior drives your results. So if you believe that what this man is saying will hurt me, it will make you to react in a certain way, and definitely there won't be harmony in that home. So there are these three major things: the map of the world, the way you view world, the way you view the life, is determined by your internal filters, how you were wired. And this is a product of these three: your upbringing, your environment, and your significant emotional experience. So the way you view things, the way you react to things, is as a result of the way you were brought up, the environment you were brought up, and your significant emotional experience. So what if you were brought up in a place, we've had so many things about culture where the woman does not necessarily have to be the one, doing all the house chores. If a family, if a child grows up in a family where he sees the father helping out the mom at home, and another one grows up in another home that is the woman that does it. Now, if these two people become an adult and then they come together, we already know that there will be an issue there because of the way they were brought up. So the way we view life, the way all this belief, the culture that has been passed down to us, is as a result of our upbringing, the environment we grew up in, our emotional experience. Now, we are all here. I believe there are some people that joined us maybe from other parts of the country. Our belief system in Nigeria is different from the other part of the world. Now, the question will be, what if you were brought up in Japan, for example? How would you view life? Will you be where you are today? The faith you are confessing, will it even be the one you will confess as at this time? So our upbringing, our environment, and our emotional experience really matters. Now, I said something that your map of the world is determined by your internal filters. And these internal filters are determined by your upbringing, environment, and emotional experience. So what are these internal filters? And that is your makeup, what makes up you as a person. So the 7 filters we have is the value. The first one is value. The value is a set of concepts that determines the intrinsic worth of a thing. Your value determines your character, who you are. So I want to ask you a question. Who are you? Who are you? Can you answer that? I'm not asking you what is your name. Who are you? Who are you, and what are your values? What are the things that shapes the way you behave? You remember, there was a time I saw a news of a man. There was this man that was on a wheelchair that was on the stairs, and a guy came from behind and pushed the man on the wheelchair down. And when the father of this man that pushed someone heard the news, the first thing he said is he's surprised because that is not their value. Like they don't do that. And that means a lot. Our values shape who we are. It shapes our character. It shapes how we view life. You can't, and take, for example, what are the values? Your value can be, for someone that loves to play, your value can be fun, and for someone that believes that, one of my values is integrity. Then if you say integrity is one of your values, you will not be found telling lies. As a company or as an establishment, you will not be found taking bribes. So your value, determines how you behave, determines your character. There are some families that when they hear maybe there's a news from school, they can tell that my child will not do this because this is not, one of our values. So, and sometimes you look at people, they claim that this is my value, and the way they act, the way they behave does not align with the value. So I need you to ask yourself, describe who you want to be. I don't know if you were able to answer that question, who are you? And even if you're not able to answer the question, what will your ultimate you be? Who do you desire to become in future? What will your ultimate you be? And then, if you're able to identify it, what are the values you need to inculcate to have your ultimate you? These are the things that helps you. These are the things that shapes your attitude, that guides the way you live, the way you view life. So the next one is your belief. Your belief is the condition you have held to be true, and it helps you to create boundaries. We have heard so much about the culture, where some have believed that it's the woman that should cook, is the man that should handle finances, and yet you can see that the man is not good enough to handle the finances. But because it's a man's world, and the kind of belief we've had over time, we go on, and yet it affects the output, the nation that will bring out. So, the scripture says something that all things are possible to him that believes. So your belief is very, very important, because it creates boundary, it limits you, or it makes you to become, the ultimate you. So I want you to do something right now. I want you to praise yourself for 5 minutes. Praise yourself for 5 minutes without quoting scriptures. Can you do that? If you're able to do that, can you just praise yourself for 5 minutes without quoting the scriptures or the Holy Book? So, do we have anybody? Are you able to do that? To praise yourself for 5 minutes? I can't see anyone responding. Are you able to praise yourself for 5 minutes?
Or we rather do 60 seconds.
Okay, let's do 60 seconds. Let's do 60 seconds. Anyone? Okay.
Let's
All
pick
right.
random.
I can't see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I don't want to be the one to answer, but somebody's already answering. You can tell the person to unmute and speak.
Okay, okay. I can't even see anyone from here, from my hand.
Okay, I think Rosie is trying to answer. Rosie, please can you unmute yourself and just say it into the mic?
I carry, okay. Can you
just do? Should I just try?
Oluwafemi, can you please unmute your mic and praise yourself for 60 seconds? Thank you.
You mean myself?
Somebody else is writing in the comments.
We want to save time,
I
so
think
we don't
Zero
want
would
to start.
do
We
it
want
well.
the
Can
person.
you just unmute yourself and do it
Yes.
for 60 seconds?
Thank you.
I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I'm dependable. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm lovable. I love my world. I'm glad to be a woman. I'm better, best of my kind. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
That
so
was
Try.
just
much.
20 seconds. That was just 20 seconds.
Exactly. I'm not sure it was up to a second. I mean, I'm not sure it's up to a minute. And the assignment is for us to attempt to praise ourselves for 5 minutes. So we can see that we have been, trained and cultured to praise God, praise others, but not ourselves. And the moment we try to do that, people turn it to be you are proud. But there is need for, self-nurture, for you to nurture yourself, for you to be able to praise yourself. You tried, yes, you tried. There is need for you to be able to nurture yourself, to praise yourself. And, when you do that, it brings something, it makes you feel different about yourself. So get comfortable with praising yourself over and over again. All right, so another question okay, Emmanuel wants to respond. Emmanuel is raising up his hand. Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself. Emmanuel, your hands are raised. All right, so I'll just go on. So now I need us to, identify those empowering beliefs that will help you create the kind of home you want. Now recall that, we are trying to build nations that are awesome. We are trying to build nations that are wholesome. So pick those beliefs and begin to, say it to yourself. Omit button not working. Admin, can you help Emmanuel?
It could be network from his hand.
All right. So I need us to identify beliefs that will empower us, to have that. We can proceed. Okay. Okay. I need us to identify empowering belief that would, help us to have the kind of family we want to have, we dream to have. Now, the next one is attitude. Attitude. Your attitude reflects your feeling and your opinion. It reflects your feeling, it reflects your opinion. Your attitude is your altitude. When you are happy, you can do a lot of things. When you are joyful, you can accomplish a lot of things. When you are down, it looks like the whole world has come to an end. So your attitude towards life, towards your marriage is very, very important. So if you believe, and of course your attitude also rides on your belief. So if you believe that your marriage will work, your marriage will be better, you are going to produce awesome family, then it must reflect in your attitude. You must have a positive attitude, to get the results, the kind of results that you want. Another filter is the memory filter. And this is a mental faculty to recall, recognize previous experience. It is a mental faculty to recall, recognize previous experience. Now, your memory can either empower you or disempower you. Some of us, we have gone through things that, traumatize us. We've gone through, our upbringing was not a pleasant one. Now, the kind of memory you store can either empower you or disempower you. So you can also determine, see, in our minds, we have different channels. We have channels of pain, we have channels of bliss, we have channels of joy, different channels. But the ones you activate the most controls your mood, controls the way you behave, controls your attitude, controls your belief also. So you can determine what memory you store or you do not store. So I want to ask us a question. You know, I said something about meaning, changing meaning. When someone calls you a particular name, you are able to see it from another perspective. You do not allow what is coming from outside to get to you when you change the meaning of a thing. So you can also save the good part of memory. Take, for example, a woman that has maybe a broken relationship and the memory is not pleasant. Maybe the man walked out on her and then she sat down, and each time she remembers, you know, she's always crying and all. That person is actually storing the memory that will not empower her, you know, because each time she remembers, it brings, that pain comes alive. But when you sit back to check, okay, what has happened to me? What really happened? What went wrong? What are the things that I ought to have done that I did not do? Or have you seen the person from the perspective of even the upbringing of the person? That's all he could offer. He doesn't know any better. So if you are able to analyze, you know, the past, and you are able to get your mistakes, what led to one thing or another, and you are able to compartmentalize them and say, okay, if I had not done this, this wouldn't have happened. If you are able to do that, when each time you remember that particular scene, you don't feel hurt anymore, you know. So we can determine what will store in our memory, and we can also look out for inspiring memory that can help us and that we can leverage on. So look at your past growing up. What are the memories that inspires you? What are the memories that keeps you going? You can, you know, you can leverage on that. Or even in the family, in your marriage, when you first started, what are the memories that you have? What are the memories that you have that you can leverage on? What are the good side of this man that you have seen that you can leverage on? You know, so you have the power to determine what you store as your in your memory. The next filter is the decision. The decision are the cornerstone of belief. They eventually determine your destination. Our life is a sum total of the decisions we have made. So your decision actually determines where you are going to. So if you are able to identify your values, your belief, understand the attitude that will get you to your destination, understand the memory that empowers you, then you are able to make the right decision. You are able to tell, okay, I'm going to make this decision henceforth in order to have this desired result. So when we make up our minds, you know, to see the good in the man, take for example, a man that is promiscuous. Are you looking at the man like, oh, this man will never change? Or you are looking at a man that has, you know, that's also suffering from how he has been handled growing up? Are we looking at it that way? Are we making that decision that henceforth, whatever energy is coming from this man, whatever hell is coming from this man will not affect the heaven inside of me? So our decision is very important. We can start making decisions that will limit us, that will disempower us. We start making decisions that will empower us in everything that we do. The next filter is the language. Some of us are affected by what people say to us. Some of us will not take a decision until we have been affirmed by someone else. And you know, some of us, what people say about us determines how far we will go. So I want you to, you know, we've said something the other time about you praising yourself. What are the words you speak to yourself? What are the words you tell yourself? What are the words you tell your spouse, your partner? You know, words help us to build our esteem. Some people are being reduced, you know, they are suffering from low self-esteem as a result of words that were used on them when they were little. Some people believe that they can never go beyond where they are because of the words that have been spoken into their lives as they are growing up. So what words are you speaking to yourself? You know, and I will encourage us, even at the end of this program, go back home and, you know, write words about yourself. Speak the right words concerning yourself. You know, praise yourself for a few minutes and record it and play it to yourself, such that you begin to hear it, you begin to listen, you know, such that that word becomes life to you. So words are very powerful, and it affects the way we view life, the way we are formed, the way we are shaped. I remember then when I went to my grandmother's house as a young girl, I think I was about 10 years. I was about 10 years old. And each time I wake up from the bed, the neighbor's house, the woman is always raising curses on the children. I was a young girl, but I knew that this wasn't right. So some people have been shaped, you know, by the way, by words that has been spoken into their life. So I also want to encourage us as parents, as spouse, what are the words we are speaking into the life of our spouse? What are the words we are speaking into the nations we are raising? And the last filter, which is the meta program, and that is talking about our personality. It's talking about our personality, why we act the way we do. I'm not going to go into that because tomorrow we'll delve into that, knowing your temperament and who you really are. All right, so dealing with shame. I want us to write out 5 labels. Write out 5 labels that have been given you over time that you do not like. What are things that people have said about you that you don't like? Write it out. Then look at 3 heroes in your life and write out 5 top attributes about them that you like. Write out 5 attributes about them that you like. Then pick the most important 3 out of these attributes that you admire the most. Write out 3 attributes that you admire the most out of these 5 attributes that you have listed. Then pick a partner and let your partner use these attributes to make a statement with your name. So if you have your spouse around you, you can just, you know, do that quick exercise. Pick a partner, let your partner use those attributes to make a statement with your name. Then go back to those negative words you detest and look at them afresh and attempt to change their meaning from what is unpleasant into something that inspires you. So I want us to do this just for like a minute. Write out 5 labels that you have been given over time that you don't like. What are they? Write it out. Then look at someone, or just look at someone, 3 heroes in your life, and write out 5 top attributes about them that you like. Write out 5 top attributes that you like, or 5 attributes that you long to have, or you know that is right. Write it out. Then, what are the 3 most important attributes that you admire the most? I believe this can also form the ultimate you. Then get someone to speak. You can imagine someone telling you, calling your name and telling you you are a visionary, you are phenomenal, you are intelligent, you are bold. How will you feel? Then go back to those negative words that you detest and look at them and attempt to change their meaning from what is unpleasant into something that inspires you. You know, the moment we begin to see people, you know, through our filters, when we have changed and deal with our filters, we are able to help others to, you know, in how we react to what they are saying. Now, let's move on to this last exercise for tonight. If there is one word that will define you from now, what will it be? If there is one word that will define you from now, what will it be? What will it be? Can I see that in the comment section? If there is one word that will define you from now, what will it be? What will it be? If there is one word that will define you from now, what will it be? Can I see the response in the comment section? One word to describe yourself, what will it be?
There are comments in the chat box. Now.
I don't see it. Okay. Please, can you help me read it out? Okay, resilient.
Passionate, resilient, focus.
Okay.
Focus.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So the next activity for us is to write out your positive affirmation. We've said that before, based on your new discovery. Write it out. And what would things mean to you from now to promote your mental wellness? Remember, you can determine the meaning of words to you. What words means to you, you can change it. You can decide within yourself that nothing from anyone will get to you. You protect your space and your heaven. Okay, so lastly, in conclusion, you were crystal clear water that flowed from the divine to nurture humanity. And whatever pollution you must have suffered must have been from your handlers and not God. And you have the power to change the narrative. Thank you very much.
Wow. Those were powerful conclusions. Please, can we just give a round of applause? Whatever pollution you must have suffered must have been from your handlers and not God. And you have power to change the narrative. I feel so powerful after this particular session. I don't know about you, but I feel so powerful. I feel so much in church and not having to rely on other people to give meaning to my life. Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Coach. So now, please, can we just appreciate her? Give us a thumbs up, a round of applause. Can you just say, well done, thank you? Please let's put it in the chat box. Let's encourage her. She's doing so well. Thank you very much. I feel so, I don't know about you, I really feel so empowered. I feel so empowered. Please, let's have our light bulb moments. Let's have our light bulb moments. Can you just tell us what resonated so much for you? Let's have our light bulb moments. Can you just type it? What was your aha moment? What was your aha moment? Thank you, Coach Priscilla. Yes, I can change the readings that I've experienced. Thank you. Singer. Rosie is saying thank you very much, Mari. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Please, can we have our aha moment? What stood out for you in the session? What spoke to you loud and clear? Please, let's quickly do that. Our time is fast spent. While we'll take questions, your questions can be from any of the sessions. Any of the sessions I've already told us to note it down. Just take about 2 questions today. Tomorrow, we have just 2 speakers and we'll be able to take general questions. But I just want us to take 2 or 3, maximum 3. Let's say 1 from each session. Okay, so let me read another aha moment for some. It says it also helps me to know that these meanings affect our marriages too. Yes, these meanings affect our marriages too. The things we put meanings to and our interpretations are really very, very important. Do we have any questions? We have just like 2 minutes to round off the session. Please, if you have any question, you can raise your hand virtually. You can just type it into the chat room. Your value is your character. That stood out for me also. Thank you everyone. We've all done well. In fact, thank you for staying till this time. We love you, we appreciate you. I don't think anybody has questions. So I guess maybe we'll just have all the question and answer tomorrow. Please, tomorrow we're concluding this webinar. And can you guess the speakers for tomorrow? We have two speakers tomorrow. Can you guess the speaker and the topics? Should I tell you or not? Should I tell or not? If you want me to tell you either the speakers or the topics, just say tell us, as in type that in the chat room. If not, I'll just keep the information to myself. Okay, Rosie wants to know. Who else wants to know? Okay, which one? You're not telling me which one you want to know. Is it the topic or the facilitator? Tell us especially the topic. Both. Okay. All right. So I think the gays have it. A lot of people are clamoring. Okay, so tomorrow first speaker will be the let me just look for the best adjective to describe this our coach. Our ardent, as in hot, firebrand Coach Sumbiti Olu Joshua will be taking the first session tomorrow. And guess what? We will be dealing extensively with the topic, understanding your temperament. As in marriage, I've realized that a whole lot of people get married to each other and they don't really understand their temperaments. They don't know how they are wired, and that is why we clash a lot. Have you been having lots of misunderstanding? Have you been having lots of conflicts in your marriage? Tomorrow is not one that you will miss, because you get to understand your temperament, to know your temperament, know your spouse's temperament, and understand how you can, function well with your temperament. You know what to improve on, areas to, okay, don't let me finish the session. Let me just keep it at that. You should not and must not miss the session tomorrow. I can bet it. And the facilitator, when I say someone is firebrand, hey, she's firebrand, and I'm sure it will be an exciting one. And yes, the second topic for tomorrow, like I said, we have just two topics tomorrow, so we'll have lots of time to tackle all the questions you have in your mind. And the second topic will be creating your marital vision. My people perish because of lack of visions. Marriages are crashing up and down because there is no vision. What does it even mean to have a marital vision? How can you create one? One thing I can assure you of about tomorrow is that is where we get to the root of the work. Today is just understanding how we are wiring, changing our meaning, changing our orientation. So by tomorrow, we'll get dirty, as in getting our hands in the mud, working it out. As in tomorrow is when you bring your pen, because they will do lots of exercises. Tomorrow is when you have your spouse beside you and you're going to create a whole lot of things together. Please don't miss it. And guess who the second speaker will be? Guess who will be taking the marital vision, creating the marital vision session? It's me. You want to see my beautiful face tomorrow? Please come. I'll be taking the second session, and it's something you just don't want to miss. All right. Can you just give me one word for today's webinar as we close? We're closing on it. We are not missing tomorrow. That's a deal. Before you go, just one word for the webinar. Did you waste your time, or it was worth your time? Would also want to know. Please drop it in the comment section. Can we have it rolling? Can we just have it? Yes, one word. I can see explosive. I can see awesome. I can see inspiring. Oh, did you get value? Please, did you get value? Did you get value? Did we waste your time? Did we waste your time? Thank you. Yes, please keep it flowing. Keep it flowing. Impactful, inspiring, deliciously
dished yummy. Thank you. I love your choice of words, Adenugaberi. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Mind blowing, mind blowing. Wow, smiles. I'm so glad we could put smiles on your faces. Thank you, everyone. And on that note, we will time well utilize. Thank you. Thank you. Powerful. I love your adjective. Thank you. And guess what? We always get better. If today is like this, imagine how and what tomorrow would look like. I hope to see you. And you're not just going to be selfish, you're inviting your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, everyone around you. I want to see more men on the webinar tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed night. Have a good night rest. Can you just unmute yourself and say bye? Yes, your spouse.
Bye.
Please
Bye. Thank you
all
all
unmute
for
and say bye.
joining.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining us.
Bye. See you
Good
tomorrow.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
See
Bring
you
your friends tomorrow.
Bring your friends tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.